Picked up a ukulele while we were at the Swarm. I don't know how to play, so I'm just gonna paint it. I started out by taking the strings off. Then I used my blue painter's tape to tape the strings together, trying to hold them in place. After that, I went ahead and taped off all the parts I didn't want to get paint on. Then it was time for a light sand to get rid of all that varnishy shine. Honestly, I didn't do that great of a job because I was standing indoors and didn't want to get dust everywhere. The next step was to prime it with some gesso. Initially, I thought I was going to just paint around these parts, but it became such a task, I decided to go ahead and take them off of there. Then I just lightly sanded the area where the parts were covering it up. Back to gessoing. Because I didn't want to get gesso dust everywhere, I took the ukulele outside for the in-between coat sanding. And, well, it all just came off. So I gave it a really good sand. I also decided to tape around the fretboard on the neck. That way I didn't have to be careful painting around it. While I was sanding, the nut fell off. I'll have to glue that back on later. Now that it's properly sanded, let's try with the gesso again. I lightly sand it with 400 grit sandpaper in between each coat of gesso. I ended up putting like 4 coats of gesso. This makes for a really nice smooth painting surface. Now that that's all set up and ready to go, I had to figure out what the heck I was painting on this thing. Since the hole is shaped like a palm tree, I was pretty limited to like tropical stuff. So I sketched out some hibiscus flowers and some leaves and then started to draw them onto the ukulele. For some reason the pencils didn't want to work very well, so then I started using India ink pens. Those also didn't really want to work that well, so I switched to a regular pencil. Then I tried a different size India ink pen. And then I tried another one. Eventually, I managed to get my pattern on the ukulele. Then it was time to tone it, give it like a nice warm glow, and proceeded to paint it on and realized that my India ink was smearing. I thought that stuff was permanent. So I wiped it down while the paint was still wet and then retoned it and redrew the pattern. I attempted to mix up a pretty shade of teal and then began painting the background. It was a bit tedious painting around all the different flowers and leaves. And I had to do it twice. 2 coats are better than 1. Also, I'm using Arteza Craft Premium Acrylic colors for all the painting. I painted the back of the neck last because I was using that part to hold it and switch it around and stuff. And background paint done. Now that I had the background done, I decided to start with painting the leaves. And I'm just using different colors of green. So I started with the darkest green, and then moved to a light green, and then to a light yellowish green. Next, I decided to go ahead and paint all the little flowers white. Then I added a little yellow dot in all of the centers. Boop. Then it was time to paint the pink petals on the hibiscus flowers. Looks good. I also used 3 shades of pink on the petals as well. And for the last part of painting, I painted stamen orange. I only used 2 shades here. I thought I was going to outline all the shapes, but instead I decided to just outline the leaves. That's not so bad. I think it looks awesome. Look at that. I didn't have any matte spray paint, but I did have some gloss. So I've got 3 coats on here. So our next step, here, let me move my coffee. I need to put that nut back on. I need my X-Acto knife so I can get this glue out of here. Let's go ahead and take this tape off. And I've got some super glue. I was going to use Gorilla Glue, but Gorilla Glue said that I had to wait 24 hours. I don't really want to wait 24 hours. I also don't want to glue my fingers. So let's see if we can get this on without gluing the fingers. Right there. Take this bit off. Then let's find where our screwdriver went. See if we can get these parts back on. So I can kind of hammer it in. Now let's figure out how to undo this tape. Ta-da! So this outside string goes to this one. Everything is painted. It makes noise. I should sign it. Now if I could only learn to play.